In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Peace be upon you, O Sayyedah Fatimah Zahra. Peace be upon you, O daughter of the Prophet. Peace be upon you, O wife of Haydar. Peace be upon you, O mother of the Imams. Peace be upon you, O mother of our beloved Mahdi. Peace be upon you, O mourners gathered on this day of cosmic sorrow. Peace be upon you, O those who weep for the truthful one. Peace be upon you, O those who demand justice for the Lady of Light. May God magnify our reward and yours for our grief for Sayyedah Fatimah Zahra. Peace be upon her. Today is the day of Fatimiyyah, commemorating the martyrdom of she who was titled al-Zahra, the radiant, al-Batul, the pure, as-Siddiqa, the truthful, al-Muhaddada, the one spoken to by angels, and Abiha, the mother of her father. We welcome you to the Truth Promoters Group Day of Fatimiyyah 2025 program. As with Ashura and Arba'een, this program flows as a river of sacred remembrance. No commentary from us, only the voices of grief, protest, and divine love. Let your homes become places of mourning. Let your tears become your protest. Let your hearts break with the heart of the Prophet when he learned what would befall his beloved daughter. We begin with the Adhaan, the call that echoed from the home of Fatima, the call her sons would carry to Karbala, the call that continues despite every attempt to silence it. This Adhaan is from Karbala, the resting place of our beloved son, Imam Husayn. Following the Adhaan, we will reflect on verses from the Holy Quran.
In the name of God, the merciful, the especially merciful.
And of his signs is that he created for you spouses from among yourselves, so that you may find rest in them, and he put between you affection and compassion. Most surely there are signs in this for people who reflect. They are a garment for you, and you are a garment for them. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of God is the most righteous of you. If they are poor, God will enrich them out of his grace, and God is all bounteous, all knowing. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Those who, when calamity strikes them, say, "Truly we belong to God, and truly to him we shall return."
We now present the special Maqtal of Sayyedah Fatimah Zahra, peace be upon her. This is not merely a narration, it is a testimony, told in the voice of her awaited son, Imam al-Mahdi, may our souls be his ransom, who carries the grief of 14 infallibles and the rage of divine justice. He speaks to us across the centuries, reminding us that her broken ribs have not healed, her stolen rights have not been forgotten, and her blood demands vengeance that only he will deliver. The full text is available at www.themartyr.net.
O you who claim to await me, I speak to you from the shadows your silence has woven. I, the son of the broken rib, I, the heir of the stolen garden, I, the child of tears that became rivers of revolution. Do you know what you commemorate in these nights? Do you weep without understanding? Mourn without witnessing? Strike your chests while your souls slumber in comfort? Listen well. My mother was 18 when the world collapsed. 18 when empires were built on her grief. I am the Mahdi, son of Zahra, and I have not forgotten neither the tears, nor the door, nor the fire, nor the darkness that fell when light was extinguished. When I rise, it will not only be for Karbala, It will be for Medina too, for the first injustice that made all others possible. They say the Prophet died on a Monday, but I tell you, creation itself held its breath, and only my mother kept it breathing. She was there when his blessed head grew heavy, when his breath became prayer, when his soul kissed the world goodbye. She held him, her father, her prophet, her only shelter, and whispered, "Oh, my father, he has answered a Lord who called him. Oh, my father, to Gabriel we announce his death. Oh, my father, the garden of Firdaus is his abode." But while she wept over his pure body, while Ali washed him with tears for water, the city was already dividing his inheritance. Not the coins, those were few. Not the property, that was nothing. But his authority, his pulpit, his position. They met in Saqifa while his body was still warm. They voted while his daughter's tears were still wet. They declared a successor while the one he chose at Ghadir was bent over his grave. Where was the Ummah when the house of revelation became the house of sorrow? Here, eternity itself trembles. Here, even angels look away. Here, the throne of God shook with rage. They came with fire. Let that sentence rest in your hearts. They came to the house of Fatimah with fire. When Ali would not pledge allegiance, when my mother would not surrender her home, they brought torches to the door behind which Quran was revealed. It was said to him, the one leading the group, "But Fatima is in this house." He replied, "Even if." These words, "even if," carved themselves into the conscience of creation. The willingness to burn the daughter of your prophet for the sake of power. They crushed her behind the door that once opened for Gabriel, the door that angels sought permission to enter, became the weapon that broke her ribs, that killed my brother Muhsin in her womb. She fell crying, "Oh my father, O messenger of God, see what we have faced after you." And where were the Ansar? Where were the Muhajirun? Where were those who claimed to die for the Prophet? Silent. Their silence then echoes in your silence now. The silence today when Gaza burns, when Yemen starves, when the innocent are slaughtered in Kashmir, when the oppressed call and find no answer. The same silence, the same betrayal, the same victory of power over truth. Fadak was not just land. Fadak was her father's gift, witnessed by heaven, sealed by verses. Give to the near of kin their right. The very Quran they claimed to God became evidence against them. But they came to her with twisted law, demanding witnesses for what God himself had witnessed. Prophets leave no inheritance, they claim, as if Solomon did not inherit from David, as if John did not inherit from Zachariah, as if the Quran was suddenly mute. She stood in their court, my mother, the part of the prophet, she who the verse of purification descended for. And they asked her for witnesses. She brought Ali, Hassan, Husayn, Abiha, the prophet's nursemaid, and, as per his own words, a woman of paradise. They rejected them all, as if the pure could not testify to purity, as if the truthful needed proof of truth. This was not about date palms and waterwells. This was the first blow, to see if she would break, to test if Ali would rise, to measure how much injustice the family of the Prophet would swallow. And you who celebrate Islamic governance, which governance is built on stolen inheritance, which caliphate begins with denying the daughter of your prophet her right. She entered their mosque, wrapped in her father's cloak, walking exactly as he used to walk. And when he stood to speak, they thought the prophet had risen from his grave. She sought neither pity nor permission, only witness. She came with proof. O people, know that I am Fatimah, and my father is Muhammad. She recited Quran to those who had forgotten it. She explained inheritance law to those who had distorted it. She reminded of Ghadir to those who feigned amnesia. Then she turned to the women of Medina and spoke words that should shake every Muslim home today. You lie in wait for calamities to befall us. She exposed their crime, not with emotion, but with evidence. Not with tears alone, but with tabyeen, the clarification that strips falsehood naked. But power had already pronounced its verdict. Truth had become inconvenient to empire. Power was their religion now. And today, when your scholars stay silent, when your leaders shake hands with tyrants, when your communities abandon justice for comfort, remember that this began with ignoring Fatimah's sermon. My mother lived 75 days after the Prophet. Some say 95. But what are numbers to measure an infinity of grief? Ali built her a small house outside Medina, Bayt al-Huzn, the house of sorrow, where she could weep without the city complaining, where she could mourn without disturbance. Every morning she would go to the Prophet's grave, place her face upon the earth and whisper. What harm could befall one who smelled the dust of Ahmed's grave, if they were to never again smell precious perfumes for all of time? Calamities have been poured upon me that, had they been poured upon the days, they would have turned into nights. She wept until the angels wept. She grieved until the earth grieved. And still, she never cursed by name, never sought revenge, never turned from God. This is the patience you misunderstand. Not the patience of acceptance, but the patience of witness. The patience that documents for history. The patience that preserves truth for the one who will rise with the sword for me. She knew. She bathed herself, prepared her shroud, and gathered her children. To Hassan and Husayn, she whispered secrets that would echo in Karbala. To Zaynab, she gave the strength that would shake the throne of Yazid. To Ali, she spoke her will. I enjoin you to bury me at night, when the eyes have become still and the sights are asleep. And let none of those who wronged me and usurped my right pray over me. And do not permit any one of them to attend my funeral. Then she turned to the Qibla and spoke to her Lord. Her last days were a constant prayer, a quiet turning towards her Lord. Her supplication was a single, focused request. O the ever-living, O the self-subsisting, and join me with my father Muhammad. Then, with her prayer answered, she lay down, faced the Qibla, and placed her hand under her cheek. She spoke her final words. I am to be taken now. Let no one uncover me. At 18 years and a few months, my mother returned to her father, returned to the presence of the Lord of Muhammad and Fatimah. At 18, younger than many who read these words, she had lived a lifetime of revelation, an age of suffering, an eternity of patience. her grave remains hidden. Let that truth burn. The daughter of your prophet has a grave you cannot find because she did not want you there. Before I speak of blood that flows still, before I name the daughters of my mother in Palestine and Yemen, let me address those who sit on pulpits my grandfather built, who wear turbans my father blessed, who claim authority my mother died defending, to the scholars who trade truth for comfort. You passe the details of wudu, while Gaza performs tayammum with its own dust and blood. You debate the length of beards, while the beards of our elders are soaked in tears for their martyred children. You issue declarations about music, while you are deaf to the music of missiles over Sana'a, the symphony of suffering in Kashmir, and the ache of the mothers of Bahrain. Where are your declarations against those who shake hands with the murderers of Muslims, who normalize with them while professing to be from the righteous progeny? Where is your outrage when our sisters are stripped of hijab in prisons you pretend don't exist? You know 40 narrations about my mother's tasbih, but cannot narrate one condemnation of those who continue to crush her. Tell me, you who memorize that she died at 18, what have you done for the 18-year-olds dying today in her name? What have you done for the fetus murdered for convenience? What have you done for the elderly encouraged to die to save the corrupt regime? To the leaders who wear our titles, you call yourselves custodians of holy sites, while you host those who desecrate Al-Aqsa and murder the women and children. You declare yourselves commanders of the faithful, while the faithful command you to stop, to speak, to stand. And you sit silent, counting your gold. Every throne you protect is built on the foundations of the house they burned. Every treaty you sign is written with the ink that stole Fadak. Every silence you purchase is paid with the inheritance of orphans my mother would have sheltered. To the preachers who perform our grief, you make my mother's suffering into theatre, professional tears at profitable gatherings. You narrate the door, the fire, the rib. Then you walk out and vote for those who bring doors, fires, and broken ribs to every home. You curse Shim once a year, but shake hands with 1,000 Shims daily. You wear black for my mother, but dress your silence in the white of surrender. Your majalis have become what Saqifa was, a gathering that speaks of justice, while justice bleeds outside your doors. The question I pose, here is what I ask you, O inheritors of titles without truth. If my mother appeared at your door tonight, bruised burned, seeking sanctuary, would you shelter her? Or would you check first with your governments, your donors, your diplomatic relations? Would you issue a statement of deep concern while she bleeds on your threshold? Would you call for both sides to show restraint while one side holds the door and the other is crushed behind it? I know your answer, because I see it daily in how you treat her children. You are not the heirs of Muhammad and Ali. You are the heirs of those who met at Saqifah. You are the heirs of those who murdered Husayn at Karbala. You are not the followers of Zahra. You are the children of those who brought the fire. And when I return, I will not be confused by your robes, your turbans, your titles, your wealth, your power, your numbers, or your libraries. I will ask one question. When Fatima's daughters cried out in this age, did you answer or did you collaborate with their oppressors? Your silence today is your signature on the crime of yesterday. Your cooperation now is your presence at Saqifah then. O you who weep for my mother, your tears are mere theatre if you are silent while her daughters in Palestine relive her anguish. You beat your chests for her broken rib while you break the ribs of Yemen with your silence. You curse those who stole Fadak while you pay taxes to those who steal nations. You mourn baby Muhsin while the babies of Gaza are pulled from the rubble. My mother's blood did not dry. It flows in every Palestinian mother's veins. It speaks in every Lebanese father's resistance. It cries in every Kashmiri's chains. It burns in every truthful word spoken against the tyrants you call leaders. When the women of Jenin, Jerusalem, Al-Quds and Hebron stand before tanks, they are Fatima at the door. When the mothers of Dahia pull their children from the ruins, they are Fatima after the fire. When the daughters of Kashmir disappear into darkness, they are Fatima, whose grave you'll never find. And you dare claim you're waiting for me? I am waiting for you to fulfill your covenant, so that the Lord permits my return. I am waiting for you. Are you truly waiting for me? Do you understand that? Do you not know the depth of your treason, of your sin? Every day I am barred from returning is a day that you have failed in your covenant. I am the son of the woman you abandoned. Is it surprising that you abandoned me while professing to yearn for me? I am the heir of the right you surrendered. Is it then surprising that you surrendered to the Taghut, to the tyrants, to the oppressors, and the Satans in human form, in the name of ease and conformity. I am the child of the grief you caused. When I rise, I will not ask who you followed. I will ask, what did you do when they burned the house of Zahra? Not then, now. For they burn it every day in every home they demolish. In every mosque they destroy. In every woman, man, and child they oppress and terrorize. In the name of Islam, my mother died defending. I make this vow upon my mother's hidden grave. I will return. Not for glory, not for power, but for every tear she shed that went uncomforted, for every right she claimed that went unheard, for every truth she spoke that went unheeded. I will stand where she stood in the mosque and complete her sermon. I will walk where she walked to her father's grave and tell him, the trust is fulfilled. I will find her hidden grave, I who know where it lies, and I will weep there as she wept for her father. But first, I will restore what was stolen. Not just fadak, but dignity, justice, the right of the oppressed to speak, the right of women to inherit, the right of truth to triumph over falsehood. Every Fatima of this age, every woman whose dignity is bartered for power, every mother who lost her Muhsin, every daughter whose inheritance was stolen, every sister whose house was burned, will find me not just an avenger, but a son. For I am not just the Mahdi. I am the Yusuf of Zahra, the son of the Lady of Light. A light, no matter how long darkness seems to reign, always returns. If you truly love my mother, then be her voice today. When they come to burn the houses of truth, stand at the door. When they steal the inheritance of the oppressed, speak in the mosque. When they crush the weak with their power, document their crimes. When they silence the daughters of Zahra, become their tongues. For know this, everyone who stands at a door to protect the innocent stands with Fatima. Everyone who speaks truth in the face of power continues her sermon. Everyone who refuses to let oppression be normalized keeps her grave hidden from the hypocrites. And everyone who stays silent, who shakes the hand that crushed her, who prays behind those who burned her house, who normalizes the theft of fadak in every age, you are not waiting for me. you are hiding from me. For when I come as the son of Zahra, and I will ask you, where were you when they broke my mother's rib? Not in history, today. Where were you today? Until that dawn, when I emerge, know that I walk among you, visiting her hidden grave, weeping for her tears, counting those who remember and those who forget. In every majlis where her name brings tears, I am there. In every home where her example brings strength, I am there. In every heart that breaks for injustice as hers broke, I am there. But I am also watching those who use her name for division, those who weep for her but oppress their wives, those who curse her enemies but become them, those who commemorate her death but kill what she lived for. Remember, she did not die for you to merely mourn. She died for you to rise. She did not suffer for you to be comfortable. She suffered for you to be truthful. She did not resist for you to surrender. She resisted for you to continue. Until we meet her at her hidden grave, you and I and the few who remain faithful carry her light. For I am coming, and I carry the list of those who stood at doors, and the list of those who brought the fire. Choose which list you want your name upon. And those who have oppressed shall know to what final place they will return. That final place of return is my day. But until that day, my lament is eternal. Every breath I take is this call. I stand where no one else can stand, and I speak the words of the son to the mother. Peace be upon you, O my mother. Peace be upon you, O oppressed one. Peace be upon you, O martyr. Indeed, we belong to God, and to him we will return. And I, the son of the wronged, am the appointed return. And from him alone is all ability, and he has authority over all things.
We now enter into Lamentation. Today's Nohe is the Garden of Zahra, a cry that arises from every heart that knows the truth, from every soul that refuses to normalize injustice, from every believer who awaits the day when her son will announce, I am the son of Fatima Zahra, and I have come for her justice. You can access the collection of Lamentations at www.shiasounds.com.
O Satan, he fell, and a mission he declared. No child of the clay would ever be spared. He set forth a plan to prove unto the Lord, from the heat of the furnace he tempered a sword. But the Lord crafted a pen, pure ink and a page, and he wrote there upon it every warner and sage. He established the seal with an offspring divine, and sealed through the parchment a name so sublime. From thence, O creation bore a mission to hide, and a rage that engendered in the one who's despised. For all that is evil was shook to the core. For eternal the name all of womankind bore. Each groan of creation cries, Ya Zahra. Each womb bears the wound of sweet Fatimah. O witness the cursed one, he searcheth the wombs, he seeketh the pure one in his darkness and gloom. He sets forth delusion and poisons the minds. They bury their daughters by Satan's design. Fearful the mother of martyrs would rise. He hardened their hearts, and he blinded their eyes. The seal of perfection, he brandished God's word. He ended the torment and hearts he had stirred. Yet monsters they hunted, they tore and they killed, they crushed and they stole, and her blood they have spilled. O witness the cursed one, he searcheth the wombs, he seeketh the pure one in darkness and gloom. Each groan of creation cries, Ya Zahra. Each womb bears the wound of sweet of disease calls to prayer. Believers in exile, deceit fills the air. For every testator must surely taste death. They witness their gods with the foulest of breath, while the lovers of Zahra are mocked and deprived. They're forced to drink poison, their holy struggle despised. The son of Khomeini feared to utter a word. Her light, oh so radiant, her truth still unheard. She wanders the hills in a long darkened veil. But for who does she weep, and for who does she wail? Oh, witness the cursed one, he searcheth the wombs, he seeketh the pure one in darkness and gloom. Each groan of creation cries, Ya Zahra. Each womb bears the wound of sweet Fatimah. Her garden is lonely, and one after one, each bloom bore the burden, each a radiant sun. The one who is doomed can make light of her loss. The one who is righteous burned off all their dross. The plague of the hearts brings the stench of the grave, that soul of iniquity that nothing can save. And she calls from the heavens, where is my seed? Where is my offspring, my dearest indeed? And she asks all believers, have you seen my son? But sealed our hearts and silenced the tongues. Oh, witness the cursed one, he searcheth the wombs, he seeketh the pure one in darkness and gloom. Each groan of creation cries, Ya Zahra. Each womb bears the wound of sweet Fatimah. she lays, her child bows his head. The Karbala eternally spread, no respite for him in his lonely abode. So long no companion, so deserted the road. His hands, they are healing, his lips bring forth balm, and yet for his mother no fruit of the palm. The one who was pierced, he spoke and they heard, and yet for her grandson no soul hears a word. Each groan of creation cries, Ya Zahra. Each womb bears the wound of sweet Fatimah. Oh, Satan the liar, he laughs and applauds the blood that you spill with your venomous words. He mocks all your tears, lamentation and gloom. He longs for the day of your eternal doom. His fear of sweet Zara, not based on her worth. His fear was the son that she surely would birth. For he bears a sword, and he'll brandish with might. He'll tear down the temples of murders and spite by the word of the book and the voice of the pen. Oppressors will tremble and hell be their end. That day 'twill come and collide their path. The angels will drag them with a fearsome wrath. The faces of arrogance, contorted by pain, presented unto them her garden again. Each flower now blooming cries, Ya Zahra. Each sun now has set for sweet Fatimah. Oh, look to the heavens, her garden so fair. The light of her countenance radiant there. Oh, witness the cursed ones, they plundered the wombs, they murdered the pure ones, now eternal their doom. Oh, as the cursed ones. They plundered the wombs, they murdered the pure ones. Now eternal their doom.
We now conclude with the communion of Sayyedah Zahra, our final visitation on this day of her martyrdom. Through these poetic words, we stand at her hidden grave, wherever it may be, and renew our covenant that we have not forgotten, that we will not forgive on her behalf, that we await her Son who will reveal her grave and restore her rights. The full text and audio are available at www.shiasounds.com.
Peace be upon you, O Zahra, daughter of God's final messenger, mother of martyrs. You whose suffering God witnessed and recorded, whose home was violated by those who claimed to serve the very God who had honored you above all women of the world. Peace be upon the fragrant flower of the prophet, the one God's messenger kissed each morning in divine reverence, crushed beneath the door by those who forgot that God sees all injustice, records every oppression. Peace be upon you, O wife of God's lion. You who learn that when people abandon God's justice, no earthly fortress can protect, no claim of faith can shield from those who betray His trust. Through God's infinite knowledge, your broken ribs became the first crack in the foundation of every Muslim home. Your stolen garden, which God had granted you, became the first theft of divine inheritance. Your testimony, heard and preserved by God Himself, became the first silencing that He would avenge. And now, by God's will, I see in every door kicked down in Palestine, in every woman whose God-given dignity is violated, in every sacred marriage that humans tear apart against His command, I see God. I see God allowing your door to splinter again, that we might remember His justice is coming. Peace be upon Muhsin, the unborn martyr whom God had already named in heaven the one God took as the first innocent witness, the first of millions he would gather to testify on the day of judgment. Not killed by swords, but by the weight of oppression that God allowed to reveal the truth of hearts by those who couldn't wait for God's decree before stealing what He had ordained as yours. And I weep before God for every Muhsin whose soul He breathes into the womb, only to have his creation declared inconvenient, murdered before breathing the air God had prepared for them. For every Muhsin crushed in Gaza's rubble, still in the sanctuary of the womb God designed, until the bombs, funded by those who claim to follow God, violate even that sacred space. For every marriage that God joined, but humans tear apart, treating His sacred covenant like a disposable contract, aborting the mercy He placed between spouses. O Zahra, through you I plead to God. They crushed your Muhsin to steal what God had given you, and today they crush millions of Muhsins, stealing the very humanity God breathed into us. I bear witness before God. You established the home as His fortress on earth, even as He allowed its door to burn to test humanity's commitment to justice. You were the manager of divine tranquility, the lady of the house where God's light dwelt, managing heaven's blessings with earthen hands that He strengthened. Through you, God taught us that loving mercy is His gift requiring cultivation, that compassion is His strength given to the righteous. You lived as the perfect, fragrant flower, giving fragrance even while being crushed, showing us how God's servants emit beauty through suffering. And Ali lived as the perfect protector, protecting the strength God gave him, serving as God commanded, providing not just bread, but the dignity God demands for all. Together by God's design, you wove the first tapestry, each thread a divine lesson, that marriage is God's earthly sign of His mercy, that true dowry is simplicity before Him, that two souls can face the world's hatred and still find His tranquility reflected in each other's eyes. God strengthened you to rise, broken-ribbed, bereaved, betrayed, and speak His truth in the mosque where they thought they could silence half of His creation. Not begging for property, but declaring God's justice. Not pleading for pity, but performing the autopsy of a nation that had murdered its covenant with God. Through divine inspiration, you clarified, showing them how they had divorced themselves from God while claiming to be His deputies on earth. And God preserves your voice today in every woman who says, enough, with His strength. In every mother who refuses the false mercy of euthanasia. In every daughter who will not let them sell the dignity God gave her. But where are we before God's throne? When we shatter the marriage He blessed, when we abandon the elderly He commanded us to honor, when we murder the souls He's breathing into wombs, when we break the homes He meant as sanctuaries. O Zahra, through you I confess to God, they broke your home to steal power from Him. We break our homes and call it freedom from Him. You were the truthful one, the one whom God granted vision beyond the veils of time. Through His knowledge, you saw your son's martyrdom before his birth, Zainab's sermon before she could speak, Karbala's tragedy written in God's preserved tablet. And God shows you our state now, building houses but not homes for Him, having weddings but not marriages blessed by Him, birthing children but not raising His servants, aging in bodies but not growing closer to Him. You witness, by God's will, men who memorize your words while crushing what God entrusted to them, claiming to be protectors, but acting as the tyrants He forbade. You see through His light women who weep for you while breaking their own covenants with God, abandoning the children He gave them, neglecting the parents He commanded them to honor. You observe the scholars who mourn your tragedy, while enabling the very injustices God sent you to oppose. But God also reveals to you the mothers of Gaza who shield their children with faith in him, the wives of prisoners who wait with trust in his promise, the daughters who speak his truth to earthly power. You see the hands that still weave with faith in God. In Yemen's camps, where his name is hope. In Bahrain's basements, where his justice is awaited. In South Lebanon's resisting homes, where they teach children to love God through loving you. And God shows you him, your hidden son, the awaited one, whom God has prepared as earth's salvation, who carries your grief as part of God's plan for justice. Every broken home increases the sorrow God has placed upon his heart. Every abandoned elder delays what God has decreed for his return. Every aborted future grieves the divine plan he will fulfill. For how can God send him to heal when we insist on wounding his creation? How can the divine unity manifest when we choose to scatter from his robe? O daughter of God's beloved, I come to you and through you to God, broken by my distance from his commands, my home fractured by my failures before him, my tapestry torn by choosing other than what he chose. I have not been what God commanded me to be, not the garment that conceals faults as he instructed, not the fortress of divine tranquility he meant me to be. I have treated his sacred trusts as disposable, valued this temporary world over his eternal promise, chosen comfort over his covenant. But through your teachings, God has shown me that he accepts the repentant, that oppression must be named before him, that his patience has limits, and that some separations are his mercy. So I pledge before God, through your intercession, to honor marriage as he revealed it to you, to protect children as he commanded through you, to speak his truth against tyrants as you spoke it, to weep, but weep productively as you wept in the house of sorrows. With God as my witness, I will not let them normalize breaking his design. I will not let them call murder healthcare when he calls it killing. I will not let them make his sacred bonds into marketplaces. God reveals that the assault on your home continues, not with swords, but with systems that oppose his order. They don't burn the door, they foreclose the homes God meant as sanctuaries. They don't crush the baby, they make God's gift of children seem unbearable. They don't steal fadak, they steal the very possibility of the inheritance he promised. The same forces that martyred your Husayn now martyr the family God established as society's foundation, making men too broken to be the protectors God appointed, making women too exhausted to be fragrant flowers God intended, making children orphans while their parents live but don't parent as God commanded. And the scholars who should defend God's plan through your legacy debate your history while his principles are slaughtered. O Zahra, ask God to wake us from this sophisticated slumber. God has made you not just Husayn's mother, but the spiritual mother of every revolution he inspires against injustice. Your DNA, by God's design, runs through Gaza's mothers who gather their children's pieces while praising him. Your strength, which God gave you, flows through wives whose husbands are disappeared by those who deny his justice. Your wisdom, inspired by God, guides daughters who refuse to let materialism consume what he made sacred. Every woman who says no to commodification of God's gifts, every mother who refuses to abandon the role he gave her, every wife who demands his justice, not just patience, is your daughter in his sight. And every man who protects as God commanded without oppressing, who provides as God instructed without dominating, who leads with service as God's prophet showed, is Ali's son in divine truth. God made the family the last fortress against the empire of isolation from him. And that is why his enemies targeted it. With debt, with drugs, with despair, with false freedoms that imprison souls from him. But God preserves your memory, your home, small, simple, sacred to him, where his appointed leader played with his children, where the mistress of all women ground grain with hands he blessed, where heaven touched earth by his command. O Zahra, by your suffering that God witnessed, by your rights that God will restore, by your unborn whom God received as martyr, by your testimony that God preserved, I swear before the throne of the Almighty, I will not let them break another door without standing for God's justice. I will not let them crush another soul without raising my voice for His truth. I will not let them steal another inheritance without demanding what God has decreed. O God, through your beloved Zahra, count me among those who choose difficulty with dignity in your path over ease in distance from you, who choose simple weddings blessed by you over extravagant divorces that anger you, who choose present parenting as you commanded over profitable absence that you forbade, who choose your covenant over worldly contracts. Let my home be your sanctuary of tranquility, even if small. Let my marriage reflect your mercy, even if tested. Let my children be your servants, even if few. We send our condolences, asking God to convey them to you, for all He tested you with, and all you endure in witnessing our failures. To your father, God's beloved prophet, whose nation betrayed God's clearest command through him. To your husband Ali, whom God strengthened to hold you as you return to Him, who built you a house for grief by divine permission. To your sons, Hassan, poisoned, Husayn, beheaded, who inherited the resistance God placed in your heart. To your daughters, Zainab and Kulthum, who carried God's message through your voice to tyrants, and especially to your hidden son, the awaited one, whose heart God fills with grief for every broken home, every abandoned divine principle, every betrayed covenant with the Almighty. To our leader, Imam Khamenei, whom God has appointed to guard the fortress of divine authority. To the martyrs' families who understand that God's pleasure matters more than life. To every woman facing abuse behind closed doors. God sees you. To every man struggling to be worthy, God strengthens those who turn to Him. To every child growing up in wreckage, God is the protector of the orphan. We send condolences that you must live in a world that learned nothing from God's lesson through Fadak. But God's dawn is coming. Your son will return by His command, and he will ask in God's name. Did you preserve the families God entrusted to you? Did you protect the woman God honored? Did you raise the children God sent as trust? Did you maintain the homes God meant as sanctuaries? Or will he find empty houses, full of possessions, but empty of God's remembrance, broken contracts instead of divine covenants, abandoned elders and unborn dead against God's command, a wasteland where God's garden should be? O Zahra, ask God to help us prepare for the path of your Son. Plead with him to help us mend what we've torn. Intercede for us to rebuild what we've demolished. Beg him to make us worthy of the return he has promised. Let every marriage be a sign of God's coming justice. Let every child raised in faith be a soldier for his cause. Let every home that stands against the storm be a fortress of the divine revolution. Until God sends us, we are his servants through you. Our homes are dedicated to God through your example. Our struggles are offered to him through your intercession. Our children are raised for God, inspired by your teachings. Through you, we ask God to use us to prepare the world for your awaited Son. And we beg God's forgiveness through your intercession. For every door we failed to defend in his name, for every covenant with him we broke, for every sacred trust from him we violate. Peace be upon you, O daughter of God's final messenger, O wife of God's appointed successor, O mother of God's awaited proof. Until God takes our souls, until he brings the meeting of eternity, until he fills the sky with your Son's banner. We remain before the Almighty, your unworthy servants, seeking his mercy through you, his broken children seeking his healing through you, his hoping slaves seeking his forgiveness through you. Through the broken home of Zahra, we return to the eternal abode of God, our Lord, O most merciful, O most compassionate. Accept this whisper. Accept this communion. Accept this ballad. For you alone are the goal, and you alone remain. Hear our plea, O most merciful of the merciful. Hear our pleas, O Lord, sustainer of the universes. And from him alone is all ability, and he has authority over all things.
As we lower the banners of mourning, we do not lower our commitment. Sayyedah Fatimah is not just a tragedy of the past, she is the standard of truth for all time. Every home built on faith is her legacy. Every woman respected as a Rehana continues her dignity. Every stand against oppression echoes her sermon in the mosque. We thank you for joining us across these 3 nights and this sacred day. All materials from this year's Truth Promoter Group Fatimiyyah 2025 program are available online. Lectures can be found at www.reflections313.com. The Maqtal can be found at www.themartyr.net. Nohe and Communion can be found at www.shiasounds.com. Verses and couplets can be found at www.islamicdigest.org. We leave you with the words of prayer. O God, hasten the reappearance of the son of Fatima. O God, send blessings upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and may God's mercy be distant from all those who oppress them, and may God's mercy be distant from all those who are pleased with their oppression, until the day of judgment. Peace be upon you, O Fatima. Peace be upon you, O Mahdi, O Yusuf al-Zahra. We extend our condolences to Imam Mahdi, to the leader of the Muslim Ummah, Imam Khamenei, to all the believers, the Muslims, non-Muslims, and all who seek justice. We extend our condolences to the followers of Zahra, our honorable sisters in Gaza, Palestine, Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, Sudan, and everywhere across the entire earth who are standing firm against tyranny. To our brothers across the world, standing tall to protect their families and to be Qawwam, protectors of the family and community of truth, regardless of what the tyrants, the oligarchs, and criminals want. May God protect and bless them all, for the sake of Sayyedah Zahra, her father, her husband, and her children.